Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Hello Smut Squad and welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the beat 'em up genre, and I'm just going to say it, these are what I think are the best beat 'em ups ever made. Now they cover both arcade and console, and I know some of you are going to be disagreeing with this list. Before we go any further, if you think I deserve it, please remember to hit that like, hype and subscribe button, as well as listen to the weekly podcast and join our free Discord. But I've been playing beat 'em ups for quite a while, although to be fair, there are some that are on this list I never played prior as a kid, and I've only been playing it since I've been doing the podcast. But as always, I want to hear what you guys have to say, whether you agree, disagree, or just have memories of the games I'm talking about here. Right, let's get into it, shall we? The best ever beat 'em ups. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. Let's get one of the obvious ones out of the way. TMNT 4 is fantastic. I never actually owned this as a kid, because we all know I was a Mega Drive kid, and I didn't really have many friends who actually had it as on Super Nintendo, so it wasn't really a game I got to have much experience with. However, I did have a lot of fun with the arcade game, but I'm not talking about the arcade version, I'm talking about the Super Nintendo version. When it was released in 1992, they couldn't do 4-player because the console would blow up, and they dropped it down to 2 players. But they also added a lot of extra things, such as extra levels, extra bosses, and also made some of the mechanics easier. There was a slam and a throw that was available in the arcade, but here it's very easy to do in this game, and it's the best way of getting points up if you want to get extra lives. You need to be able to use that throw ability because they add an additional boss before you go back in time, where you start throwing foot ninjas at Shredder into the screen, which is really, really cool. The game is a lot more forgiving than the previous 2 arcade games, TMNT 2 and TMNT 3 on the NES, and it's a bit more pick up and go, where the other 2 are absolutely brutal, I found, when I was playing them. My god, they're difficult. Although if you want the multiple difficulties, it is there for you. The animation is timeless, and whilst it doesn't look as good as the arcade game, because that's very hard to do, it still looks absolutely beautiful, and the comic book aesthetics just come right off the page. It's got great music, and let's be honest, the first song alone is just enough to get you in the mood. It's got great additional bosses, like Slash in this game when he wasn't in the arcade version, and they moved Tokar and Razor to a little bit different, and I like this because there's a lot of nostalgia that this game actually gives you, taking from both the animated and the comic book series. I think that's really good for Turtle fans. I never thought Turtles 4 would ever get beaten in quality, but many years later, Shredder's Revenge came out, and finally I can pass that crown on to a worthy successor. But Turtles 4 still has a place in my heart, although I really wish I could actually own a physical copy. Need to sort that out. Bare Knuckle 3. Yes, Bare Knuckle 3. No, hang on, don't you mean Streets of Rage 3? No, I don't, because there are big differences between the 2 versions. Now, how do you follow up Streets of Rage 2, which is often considered one of the greatest games of all time, and it might just appear on this list? It's a pretty hard task. Well, you had Bare Knuckle 3. Now, no Max this time, he's gone, he's been replaced by Dr. Zan. And additionally, this game has 2 additional characters, Shiva and Rue, and multiple endings as well, depending on what you decide to do and what challenges you actually complete in game. The gameplay and the art and the music are still really good and still have that exact same vibe as Streets of Rage 2. It keeps the same aesthetic. But why are we talking about Bare Knuckle 3 and not just Streets of Rage 3? Well, the costumes for one. In Streets of Rage 3, these costumes are terrible. Like, Axel's got a yellow shirt and everything just seems dull. In Bare Knuckle 3, the colours are a lot brighter, and Axel's wearing his white top and blue jeans, which I really prefer. I don't like the black jeans and yellow top. Never liked it. Also, there are some censorship issues. Yes, because obviously Europe and everywhere else doesn't like the fact that females have breasts, they decide to cover them up. No, in Japan they let the puppies breathe. Good old Japan. I mentioned earlier in Streets of Rage 3 there are 2 additional characters, a kangaroo called Rue, who's absolutely amazing, and a kick-ass ninja called Shiva. But in Bare Knuckle 3, there's an additional character. Yes, Ash, he's actually a playable boss character, and I'm not gonna lie, he's terrible to use. Yes, his moveset is ridiculous, however, I love him. Yes, I know he's a stereotype, I know exactly what type of stereotype he is, but I still think he's fantastic. I love stereotypes. I think that's what the whole Simpsons is, but I have no problem with this. I've even spoke to people who I know, including my brother-in-law. He's got no problem with this, although some people I can see could be quite offended. But I still think he's an hilarious character, if not just crap to use. Bring him back, you cowards, bring him back. And also, one of the big things about this game was the difficulty. Because the West was scared of the rental market, they decided to up the difficulty of this game. So Streets of Rage 3 is ridiculously hard. Yes, it's stupid hard. Like, I played both versions when prepping for a podcast episode, and I couldn't get anywhere near Streets of Rage 3's ending. It was so hard. And bear in mind, I've been able to do Streets of Rage 2 complete, no problem on hard mode. This was insane. Didn't like it at all. But Bare Knuckle 3 is far more realistic and actually doable, and a more enjoyable experience because of it. Honestly, don't even bother with Bare Knuckle 3. Oh, and the final thing as well, they changed the plot. Yes, in Streets of Rage 3, you're dealing with robot armies and bombs going off, but in Bare Knuckle 3, you're dealing with like a lethal chemical that actually kills people. Yeah, a load of people dying like a gas terrorist attack. Nah, the West weren't having that one. It's such a diluted version of Bare Knuckle 3, which is a shame because it is a really good game, and Streets of Rage 3 could have been just as good as Streets of Rage 2, but was just let down because of all those censorship and changes that made it from the original. So stick with Bare Knuckle 3, people. It's a much better game. X-Men. Now put this in here just for the dramatic sense. This was a 6-player game, over 2 screens. The arcade machine was huge. You can play as one of 6 X-Men: Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Dazzler. Right. Okay. Wow. Why is it not Psylocke? Why is it goddamn not Psylocke? Either way, up to 6 players can play at once. And whilst they all have their simple controls of attack and punch, they all have their own additional ability, which takes a little bit of their health. Throughout the game, you get to fight many bosses, including Pyro, Blob, Emma Goddamn Frost, and look at those puppies: Wendigo, Nimrod, Juggernaut, Mystique, Magneto-esque Mystique, and Magneto himself. But the machine, it's huge. Now, I never saw it as a kid growing up, but when I last went back to the UK, I was taken to Bury. And Bury is a shithole, by the way. I'm sorry if you live there, but it's a terrible place. But it has an arcade scene, and there it was, an X-Men arcade machine, and I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. I just wanted to take it home. It's a shame there was only 2 of us and not 6, because it would have been so much fun to play with 6. Is it one of the best beat-em-ups ever? Probably not, but is it memorable just for how ballsy it was and the design choices it did? Of course it was! 6-player consoles just aren't seen. Although I know that you can have 6-player games now, but I don't care. At the time, that is absolutely godlike. Ninja Baseball Batman. Now, this is not Batman. This is, however, the best name ever for a video game. It's so Japan, it's ridiculous. Like, what is going on? There's no ninjas, there's no Batman, but it works. It's very, very smart marketing. Now, this is one of the latest beat-em-up games that I've played, and thankfully this is because of people like you on the channel who have told me and messaged me and said you need to play this beat-em-up. I'd never heard of it before, and there's a reason for this. It was very popular in Japan, but when it was America, they only got 50 cabinets. And that's insane. I don't even know if anyone in the West or Europe got it. I never saw it growing up as a kid, but I wish I had. In this game, you fight everything baseball related and can be one of 4 players. Unfortunately, this game has only ever been released on arcades, and there's been no home port, so emulation is the only way to go if you're going to play it. But I've been able to do that through means. Let's just say means. And it is absolutely chaotic. It's a very, very random video game, basically to do with baseball. And I hate baseball. Sorry, I do. I just find baseball boring. In reality, this is probably, though, the best baseball game ever, and I'm considering it in the same genre. Honestly, when you look at it, you wonder what the hell is going on. It's like someone took a line of crack, then took LSD, then watched SpongeBob, and then was asked to describe what baseball is. It's just chaos. You have to fight mitts, you have to fight bats fighting bat. There's even one boss where you're in a plane fighting a plane. That's just genius. It's so fun. Like, look at the colours, look at the design, look at what everything's going on. It's just mental, and I love it. Like, you want to play a game where everyone's having a great time. This is it. You can argue, well, about The Simpsons, that's a really good arcade game. Is it better than this? No, it's not. It's really not. And as I said earlier, I didn't have this experience growing up because, well, never saw the arcade machine, but my kids are going to be able to play it. Yeah, when they get a bit older, Daddy would have built his own arcade machine, and this is definitely going to be on there. Although it's only going to be a 2-person arcade machine. I don't care. They can still have fun playing it. We're going to play it regardless. River City Ransom. Bit of a change of gears here. Yes, we've been going for like the high quality ones, and now we're going back on the NES. And if you've been following this, again, this is not one I followed pre the podcast or pre the YouTube, and it's been one I've been finding as I've been getting into this. But what's the big deal here? Well, it's a rare action game that tries to be open-worldish with RPG elements. Yes, as the game goes on, you have to strengthen yourself, gain more techniques and with money, and boost yourself up, which is really good. You can't just mash your way to the finish line as well, because some of the enemies will block your attacks, and they're actually quite smart, so you need to change up what you're doing. You can also dash your enemies and get a quick little jump ahead of them, but then so can the enemies, so you've constantly got to be keeping on your feet. And as you explore the world, you'll find out there are some parts where the enemies are so strong you realise they're going to slap your dick off if you go anywhere near them, so you need to do a bit of grinding, which for some people can be a bit boring, but I don't mind because I really like how this game plays. This game supports 2-player co-op, as Alex and Ryan basically have the objective of trying to save Ryan's girlfriend. There is a password system in here, which is an absolute goddamn nightmare. Oh my god, the codes in this are like 40 feet. Oh, this is stupid. Don't even bother. It's when you get that notepad trying to write down every single little bit right, and then you get one wrong, and there goes your progress. Oh, what a nightmare. The game is very silly, I have to admit, but I don't care. There's a lot of depth to it. Take away all the silly animation, and actually when you get under it, it's a really complex little game, and it's one of the best games on the NES, hence why it's making one of the best beat-em-ups on this list. Aliens vs. Predator. No, not the Super Nintendo one, we don't even look at that. We're talking about the arcade version, because it's goddamn awesome. Made by Capcom, and if you didn't actually know, this was meant to be a movie. Yeah, I know it was years later, but that got cancelled. This is actually kind of based loosely off a comic book. But it's a shame we never actually got the movie, because it would have been absolutely badass if this is what the plot was meant to be. In this game, which can play up to 3 players, there are 4 selectable characters, and one of them's Dutch, who is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, but he doesn't look anything like that in this game. There's also a female ninja, and 2 predators in the game, because you just want to be the predators. Let's be honest, all you want to do is the predators. But they each have their own strengths and weaknesses, but just go the predator. It's just so much fun. But when you look at the game itself, look at what I'm showing you. The visuals are fantastic. The sounds, well, you can't hear the sounds, but they're good as well. It's a fast-paced game. And also, pacing, to use the same word twice, is very good. Like, no level's too long, and also the enemies come at you in good waves, and the bosses are pretty cool as well. And there's only 7 levels, so it's not going to take you that long, or depending how hard you want to put the difficulty, until you get to the final boss against the Alien Queen. There are just aliens everywhere, and I can't imagine this is actually how it would go in real life. I'm sure even one alien would cause you problems, not this many. But hey-ho, it's a video game. 3 of the characters have their own melee weapon, but if they get hit enough, they actually drop it and become vulnerable, but the other characters can actually grab it and throw it as a projectile, whilst the character who lost it can try and get it back. It's a pretty cool mechanic, which I've not seen in any other arcade games, although someone's going to cut me and say, well, actually, it's in this arcade game. It's not too long a game, but I think it's an awesome arcade beat-em-up, which everyone should play. Again, I didn't really get to play this growing up, and it's one I've learned since, but my god, I wish I had, because it's so much fun, and just absolute chaos. And finally, Streets of Rage 2. Yes, we all knew this game was going to be on the list. It's the thumbnail, for God's sake. It's considered one of, if not one of the best games of all time, and for me, it has so much memories of it. Although I played the heck out of Streets of Rage 1, I never actually owned Streets of Rage 2 because money. So me and my brother would rent it out whenever we went to see my dad at the weekends, and we had an absolute blast. He would pick Blaze, I would pick Axel, and away we'd go. Streets of Rage 2 took everything from the first game and improved it dramatically. Gone was the ability to call in a police car to fire a rocket at your enemies, and instead you now get your own special move, which does take a little bit of help each time you use it, but it's often used as a last resort or after a screen clearing move. But it was a great way to work out that risk-reward of actually using the move. The visuals got a huge upgrade, the sound is absolutely godlike and considered one of the best in the video games ever made. Whilst we did lose Adam, who was my pick from Streets of Rage 1, we got 2 new characters instead. We got Skate, who's Adam's younger brother, who is very fast and nimble, and Max, who's the big bruiser and essentially a big walking wrestler. This game is literally beat 'em up perfection, not just in its gameplay, its characters, its music, its stages, its bosses, everything. And there's always an argument about which is the best beat 'em up of all time, Streets of Rage 2 or TMNT 4 Tales in Time. And I don't think it's ever going to be one that's ever going to be sorted. I think Streets of Rage 2 does win in that conversation, but it's one of the best games on the Sega Mega Drive Genesis, although you can have Sonic and 3 and Knuckles can often come in that conversation as well. As for me, this is beat 'em up perfection, and even Streets of Rage 3 couldn't top it, and it took a long time until Streets of Rage 4 came out that I finally accepted, yeah, this goat has been beaten. But I still have many memories playing this game of me and my brother kicking Mr. X's ass, or me just trying to do it by myself on one playthrough. My god, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get your ass handed to you very quickly, but I did love just pressing up, punch, or using a continuous, ever-ending punch, get them in a loop. God, the loop cycle. You can just catch them on that animation. We all know if you played the game, you know exactly what you do. That is how you play Streets of Rage to perfection. Get them all caught in that damage animation and you're fine, you'll win. Doesn't work on bosses though, which sucks. So you gotta go bang bang and then double uppercut. That's how I used to win these things. That's the only way I used to win it, but it was awesome. I felt like a gaming god when it was all done. It was one of the best achievements I've ever had in video games. I know, again, people are going to say there's much better ones, but for me, completing Streets of Rage 2 on my own was an absolute joy. And it should be for everybody else. And as I said, perfection. And that's it, my opinion on the best ever beat-em-ups. Now I know some of you are going to argue about this, so I want to hear what you think in the comments below. But please, if you did enjoy this, leave a like and a hype, because that is what helps get the video up, and we want to try and get our way to 10,000 subscribers. We've also got the weekly podcast, and this week we're covering Bubsy Encounters of the Third Kind on the Super Nintendo, and I'd love to see you over there. Until then, I'll see you again on Friday for another video. You all take care of yourself. My name's been Danny. Follow your dreams.